Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want to stick around. We're about to make one of the classic mother sauces, an Espagnole. Some people refer to it as a demi-glace, which is what we're going to be doing with it afterwards. There are differences. We'll get into that. Stick around. I'm going to start off with some butter. One of the things we have to do is brown the roux. And a roux is essentially flour and butter in equal parts cooked. All right. I talked about that in my bechamel class that I've got posted in this same playlist. Take a look at that and I go into some details there. But the difference is a bechamel is just cooked for about a minute. All right, the roux. Whereas here, we're gonna take that to a brown roux stage. And you do want about equal amounts of butter and flour, and I don't think I have enough butter. In fact, that's a common thing. I never think I have enough butter. I've got that butter now melting, and I'm gonna get in my flour and I'm gonna turn down my heat super low. Really important to turn that down because otherwise it'll scorch too quickly. All right, so here you can see my roux getting brown. It's at a blonde roux stage right now. We're gonna keep cooking this until it gets a little bit more brown or amber than brown. All right, so we're getting to a light brown stage right now. Still got to keep going. One of the interesting things about making a roux and taking it this far is that it does not have nearly the same amount of strength to thicken as a white roux would or a blonde roux would for a bechamel. So you generally need more of it to thicken the same amount of liquid. I am gonna get in some onions right now. Those are gonna go in. I'm also gonna get in some red wine. Watch for the steam. All right, you'll see how that thickens up. So we're gonna reduce out this red wine. This is now getting back to being thick. I'm gonna add my Glace de Viande to this now. So I just want to point out the differences between an Espagnole and a demi-glace. Essentially, an Espagnole is a veal stock that's been reduced by half, thickened with a dark roux. Then you take that, add more veal stock to it, and fortify it and reduce it even more with that beef flavor. And that is what's called a demi-glace, reduced even further. So essentially, a demi-glace is an Espagnole, but with more beef stock added to it and concentrated. Those are the differences. Now that that's come up to a simmer, what I'm going to do is pass it through a fine mesh strainer. I've got a little mesh one here. All right, here we go. This is an Espagnole that's been reduced further, made into a demi-glace. One thing that we are going to do, always important, a little bit more butter to give it even more richness because that's what it needs, right? All right, folks, there it is, the finished Glace de Viande. Of course, I gotta check seasoning and all that sort of thing, but just look at how beautiful this sauce is. Imagine that on a plate the next time you make a steak. Ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in, everybody.